I'm Rick Lombardo, and I'm the director of the play. About 3 years ago, Stephen and Janet brought a copy of the play to me at a meeting at my theater in Boston, New Repertory Theater, and I was at the time looking for a play that I thought could have great impact and also have the potential to move on from my company to a New York production. That was one of our goals. And when I read the play, I saw enormous potential for this play to have great impact in a very large audience, both the traditional theater audience, but also an audience of folks in the recovery community. Personally, I had a very close family member who had gone into recovery and stayed sober for 20 years because of AA. So I knew some of the story, and I also knew some of the power of the story because of the impact that it had had on my own family. So when I read the play, it certainly touched a personal nerve with me, and I recognized that it could have great impact in the wider world. It's the same design team that we had in Boston, and the same design concept. We've adapted it a little bit because the stage here at New World Stages is a slightly different shape and size than our theater up in Boston. We use what we call an abstract set. There are so many locations in this play because there are so many episodes. The play is composed of a series of short scenes that go from, for example, a hotel room to the apartment in Brooklyn, to a hospital room, to Bob's house in Akron, Ohio, to a train waiting room. So we instantly knew that we needed to find a solution scenically that was not going to be a realistic solution, that would be cumbersome, and also wouldn't ask the audience to engage their imagination as we told this story. So the scenic designer, Anita Fuchs, and I came up with this idea of an abstract environment that would tell the story of 1930s America, both the relatively more Art Deco world of New York City, which is the world of Lois and Bill, and then the more Midwestern, traditional Americana world of Bob and Ann in Ohio, through the use of this abstract world, moving panels, and very simple American furniture. All of the scenes are told just with chairs and tables that the actors manipulate around the stage. We create very simple and elegant ways that we can move quickly through all of these different worlds that we try to do on the stage. We also believe that music is very important in the world of 1930s America, specifically jazz, and that music is a very powerful emotional element that creates a thread through this story. So we tell the story with a live pianist who's on the stage the entire time. He plays through scenic transitions, he plays under some scenes. Also, when we go into locations like bars, hotel bars, he's there to provide the music and to be the hotel bar pianist in the world of the play. Last May, we were invited to this large national event, which is called Founders Day, which takes place in Akron, Ohio, and it's an annual event where folks come from around the country to Akron to visit, for example, Bob's home, Bob and Ann's home, the grounds of Stan Hewitt Hall, which is the Goodyear estate where Bill and Bob first met through the help of Henrietta Seiberling of the Goodyear family, the cemetery where Bob is buried, et cetera, et cetera, the hospital where Bob worked. They asked us if we would come and perform a small piece of the play, and we did it outdoors in a tent directly outside the Gatehouse, which is the location where Bill and Bob had their first meeting, their celebrated first meeting, which is known to many in the recovery community as the first AA meeting that ever took place, where Bill and Bob told their stories to each other. We performed it there 9 times over a 2-day period, and to thousands of people. And we didn't know what to expect at first, and as we were getting ready for the first performance, about 5 minutes before curtain, we started to hear the roar of motorcycles down the street, and we thought, well, this is going to be hard to perform this play outdoors with all these motorcycles riding by. But in fact, these motorcycles made a right turn, and they turned into the gates of the estate. They parked near the tent. Hard-looking men bearded, pierced, tattooed, leathers, wives and girlfriends sitting on the back of the motorcycle. And they came and they sat in the lawn chairs in front of our stage. And we thought, oh, this is a group of people who looks like they've never been to a play before. How are they going to react to what we're doing? Robert and Patrick began to do the scene, the famous meeting scene. And what's interesting about this scene is that in the annals of AA, when Bill and Bob would tell their stories over and over again years later, they really were very quiet about what took place at that first meeting. They met, it was a very long encounter. Years later, they said very little about it. So it's truly an artistic creation of the playwrights. The gentlemen would sit and the ladies would sit. They'd start to listen to the scene. And watching them, you would see them start to tear up, start to stifle sobs. They start to talk back to the stage in affirmation. And just watching the kind of atomic impact on this audience that just this one little snippet of the play had on them, I think reinforced even more for Patrick and Robert and for myself the incredible power that this story has in so many individuals' lives, and the amount of the kind of respect and honor that we need to bring as artists to the telling of this story.